On this special Sergeant Bilko edition of Flix, we sit down with Steve Martin, Dan Aykroyd, and Phil Hartman and take a look at a movie about a bunch of wild and crazy guys in uniform.
Bilko!
Make the bad man stop.
Here comes the magic.
Before we get going, what's your last name again?
Lovitz, Phil Lovitz.
How did it come about that you all ended up working together? Did one call the other one and say, guess who's in this?
Phil.
Okay. Steve was offered
in the early days,
way back when. Well, you see,
Dan really...
Milton
Well, you know what's really
Berle
nice
really
is that
the
nobody
father
wants to compete with
of
the other one.
television.
That's everybody's
We
very
know
giving,
it.
which is great to
And
see.
then came Steve, then Jackie Gleason, and
You talking
then
about the
Danny
history
and
of
I.
comedy?
Yeah. Milton Berle,
I influenced
Steve,
Jackie
Danny,
Gleason
and I.
a lot, actually.
I guess, as far as Bilko, they came to you first to do Bilko, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
And they mentioned your name and they mentioned Phil's name right off the bat, and there it was.
So
we
one
were
didn't
all
have to
so
call the
desperate.
other and say, want to work on this?
Well, because I wouldn't give them my home phone, but
Yeah.
we were all so desperate to work that we immediately said yes.
Well, Steve invited us all in, I think. You know, he invited us.
He knew where the magic lay.
All in! And gathering in a square. All right. All right, you've seen real soldiers before. Just do what they do. All right, let's do the grab the rifle by the bottom thing. Arr! All right, and now the showing the rifle for the inspection bit. Go!
What was it like behind the scenes? Did you laugh through the takes? Was it hard
We did
to
laugh
get
a lot,
work?
didn't we?
We did. We had a fun time. It was just wonderful. We shot out in San Pedro, out by the ocean there, overlooking Long Beach, with the sea breezes and the sun, and it was just one of those California movie-making experiences.
Very
that was
happy
just
shooting.
joyous. A very, very happy time. It was a good spirit. You know, not all movies are that way. There's a lot of them there's tension.
I guess it helps that you all are friends.
Well, it makes it more enjoyable to go to the set, and it makes, you know, so much of movie making is just hanging out waiting for the cameras and lighting to be set up.
What had not beyond friendship, though, is a respect for each other's gifts, I think, you know, and a really genuine sort of appreciation and a liking of what each one does. You know, we're all fans of each other. I know I'm a fan of Phil's and of Steve's, perhaps. I don't know. But
I'm a fan of Phil's.
yeah.
And so what annoyed you about these guys?
Well, Steve's dog, first of all, was all over the set, and I went through a lot of shoes and
Good
trousers.
morning. Whoa!
And he insisted on having the dog wear a satellite dish around its neck because it had some sort of
that's
skin
the TV
problem.
Oh yeah.
Nothing annoyed you about these guys?
Their wealth and success.
What bothered me most is after every time the director would say, okay, action, Dan would say, do I have to? It bothered me after every take.
And after every take I did, Steve said, are you going to do it that way? Which is hurtful.
Yeah, it's a miracle that it came off and that we all were talking with each other now. No, we had a ball. Are you kidding? Every one of us
The guy who
went
comes
into
in the truth.
You can be the truth
I was
guy.
thinking he was an anarchist.
We'll be facetious.
My job. No, seriously. Calm down. Seriously, we had fun.
Tell me how you two first met.
well,
Well, we on Saturday Night Live.
go back
and,
to Rockefeller Center there.
Yeah, I can't remember if we did something together on the first show I was on. Did we have a sketch together? Oh, well, we did.
Oh, we did
Well,
Theodore-
Crazy
oh.
Guy. I forgot.
Both my brother Yortuk and I enjoy doing many things. We are two wild and crazy guys. I'll say, why, just the other day, we were enjoying ourselves so much, I can't tell you.
Steve, we always thought of as part of our extended family, you know, and he was so, I mean, I must say, he started the Blues Brothers.
I did not.
You
The
did,
Blues
you
Brothers.
did,
It's
we
ridiculous.
would have been nothing, we would have been, you know, John would be
crazy.
alive today. But I said John would be alive today. You know? But you know, what happened was
That's my fault. I killed John.
He opened. He had us open for him at the Universal Amphitheater in his act. He was like he had us the opening act.
the road. Good love.
And we sold 3.5 million records. And the whole thing got started because of Steve. So
Overstating it. Seriously, they were already a hit. They'd already been on Saturday Night Live.
How different is it to go from doing these live sketch comedy shows to doing a film like this? How much do you take from it?
Well, it's totally different, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
And yet there's some kind of vague memory in your head of the audience, and you kind of project them out there.
Yeah, I think you have to trust yourself that you don't have the audience to give you the automatic feedback that you have on a live television show, so you have to just kind of imagine them there. It's true.
But then you have, you've got your fellow players who are going to respond and say that's funny, or that's, we shouldn't do that, or should I do this? Sometimes you can sense, like, you do something and you see like a camera assistant operator and he's going, and trying to hold it in. When you see that kind of reaction, I guess I'm doing something here that really is organic.
Laughter
or vomit. No. No, I mean, they hold in laughter and you can tell, well, geez, that is a real spontaneous reaction I'm getting from that guy over there out of my corner of my eye. I guess I'm doing okay, kind of thing.
What was it like back then? I mean, you had it seemed like on the air there was so much freedom.
Well, we had a censor who could be easily distracted. It was just that they created a good atmosphere for us, and Lauren provided all the insulation we ever needed, and they were really wonderful, heady days. And I know Phil, experienced a golden time there himself,
It was different, though. I mean, we were, to some extent, in the mid-'80s, living in the shadow of the former incarnation.
Well, did you feel like you were always being compared to these guys?
Well, actually, favorably so. When I started on Saturday Night Live, the Daily News ran an article, Saturday Night Live finds its new Dan Aykroyd and Phil Hartman. So I was so proud. I used to go around saying, there are only 2 Dan Aykroyds, and I'm one of them. I always identified with Danny, because I think we brought similar personalities to the equation, in as much as we were sort of average-looking white guys, who were malleable and could do a lot of different voices and dialects. And so
I was identified with Garrett Morris.
Yeah. What happened there was, like, I mean, it was a wonderful to work in Rockefeller Center and to come in and be there in the fall, and sort of own New York City. I mean, I know you felt like that.
Yeah, there were times you felt like you were in the place
it was
in the universe.
Ticket in the universe, and so those days are gone for me forever. Now it's now I got the hottest nightclub on the planet.
I'm a little out of it. What show are you talking about?
The Anita Bryant Hour.
Oh yeah.
And the fact is, by the time I got on board, the whole picture of the media had changed, because now it seemed like all of television was oriented toward the hip market segment.
I watch when I can every week. I am still a fan of the show. Now I go through my periods where I go, oh, the writing was bad there that week, or oh, geez, Christ, I'll never get it back, But ultimately, it comes down to the fact when we were doing it, every show had gems in it and turkeys. You're going to hit and miss no matter what happens. But I remain a fan, and I watch now.
When we come back, we've got more with Sergeant Bilko, the Army's most lovable con man.
Doesn't the Army issue towels? Army! Get him a set of towels. The fluffy ones. The introductory price.
VH1 presents the greatest marathons of all time. The Human Canine Tumbling Marathon, the Elephant Golfing Marathon, the Roller Skating Dog Marathon, and now, VH1's Best American Bandstand Marathon ever. New episodes, new dance moves, and really great music. Can they boogie all day and night, or what? VH1's American Bandstand Marathon, the marathon that beats all marathons. All day and night this Saturday, only on VH1. Sponsored by Blockbuster Music.
Looking for a better variety of music? Blockbuster Music's got thousands of titles to choose from, like Don Henley's latest, Actual Miles on Geffen. Just $11.88 CD, $8.88 cassette. Now at Blockbuster Music.
tried the Colgate Deep Clean? Something most teeth have never felt. Something you can feel with Colgate baking soda and peroxide with tartar control. Tingling deep in tiny crevices between teeth and along the gum line. You and your dentist will agree. This Colgate Deep Clean is truly monumental. Colgate baking soda and peroxide. Feel the deep clean.
Much. I hold and action. I hold in my hand new Milky Way Light. Half the fat of the leading chocolates, but tastes just like a Milky Way. We think you'll enjoy it.
Excuse me. Sorry. Half the fat of the leading chocolates, but tastes just like a Milky Way. And you think I'll enjoy it? Are we talking creamy caramel, fluffy nougat, smooth, rich chocolate? And you think I'll enjoy it? Give me that.
New Milky Way Light. Smooth, light, everything's right.
Now, during Sears Portrait Preview Sale, save 50% on this big portrait package with all the sizes you like most. Now, only $9.95 during Sears Portrait Preview Sale. Hurry in today.
Satan beware when the Eagles get back together for music, interviews, and the reunion concert of a lifetime. Hell freezes over this Sunday beginning at 1 on VH1 Music First.
Steve Martin, Dan Aykroyd, and Phil Hartman are all veterans of Saturday Night Live. But in Sergeant Bilko, this hilarious trio gets enlisted to recreate and update some military antics of an even earlier television success story.
Bilko! Lieutenant Thorne.
Actually, it's Major Thorne now.
Well, congratulations.
Tell me, Colonel, is he still the same rascal he was at Fort Dix?
Oh, that's one way of putting it.
All these TV sitcoms, which are now movies, did it help that yours was in the 50s, so a lot of people don't remember it? Or do you think that there's a real built-in audience because of the reruns?
I think the most important criterion is that the movie be well written and well directed and well produced.
Stand on its own.
Yeah, it doesn't, I mean, certainly any concept as simple as Sergeant living large at the Army's expense, that can be completely blown. But when you have an Andy Breckman and a Jonathan Lynn and Imagine Entertainment and Brian Grazer, you know, there's Steve Martin, Dan Aykroyd, and certain other actors.
You're also your name, Phil Hartman.
Thanks, Steve. I've never heard him say my name before.
How much writing did you all do?
Oh, most of it. We rewrote every scene.
Yeah, I wrote most of Phil's ad-libs.
Yeah. Steve's good at the impromptu, off-the-cuff kind of shit.
Had you been fans of the original Sergeant Bilko?
Oh, yeah, I was, definitely.
Yeah, no question about it.
It was always the magic show that was, you know, the show with all the magic that was on. All the other shows you kind of understood, but this one was something compelling about it.
We were all Hyken fans and Silver fans, I think.
Oh, it's nothing. The picture brings out the Spanish in me, sir. I always get it.
When you're a fan of something like that, any reluctance to make the movie?
Yes, we all resisted it immensely to the last minute. Then they pushed Steve out in front of the cameras, and then something happened, something clicked.
You look at the show, and of course there were such strong characters. I mean, you know, Ernie and the Colonel. I played Colonel Hall, and that was Paul Ford. And one of the challenges is to try to go out there and go, should we just try to imitate them? And of course you can't do that because, you know, it's a new generation, and so
Bill could imitate it.
All right, Bilko.
I wanted all of
it. You could do that.
Let's see you do Phil Silvers.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, right away, sir. Oh, the Colonel's wife, you look beautiful.
Yeah. Doberman, please. What? Where? What?
Where's Doberman?
Yeah.
And he's certainly not in this footlocker, sir.
Bilko! That's the only thing I did of the Paul Ford. Really, it was just sort of our own characterization. But I did get that. I did get nasal, and I did get that. Bilko! Actually, you know, we did that. That was.
It was necessary to reinvent it, though, because that show, you know, was sort of characteristic of the military during World War II. You know, after all, it was the 50s, and the ensembles appeared to be all middle-aged men, and so it needed to be reinvented.
Phil, that's what we are.
Oh, never mind.
Well, you can start with this. The Colonel's car.
Okay, what's wrong with it?
It's the odometer, Wally. It says 12,000 miles, and it should say 11,000 miles. Tony here drove it to Lake Tahoe over the weekend.
You want me to turn the odometer back?
Yes.
I can't do that, Sergeant.
Look, I'm asking you to do Tony here a favor. See, we're all like family here. Any one of these men would take a bullet for you.
Well, not in the chest.
No, not in the chest, but certainly in the thigh.
The platoon they're all 20-somethings, and they're multi-ethnic, as reflects the modern army, and there's two sexes now in this platoon. Oh, yes.
And they're kind of misfits.
They're nutty misfits, yes. We picked up that 90s hip-hop quality.
Tell me about each of your characters.
Okay. Hey, why don't we tell about each other's character? Maybe that's a better idea.
Alrighty.
Like I'll talk about Dan's character of Colonel Ford. Is that all right?
Yes.
Colonel Hall, sir.
Colonel Hall.
Yes.
Sorry. No, it was played by Paul Ford.
Yeah.
I should have said
Bilko!
All right, Bilko.
Oh, that's right. He's amazing. The greatest impressionist.
He's a big butterball, sweetest guy in the army, on the base. He's always being fooled by Bilko.
Colonel Hall, you look fantastic, sir. Have you lost weight?
What? A couple of pounds, maybe. Sergeant, I'm here to see about my car.
Well, I'm afraid we're still working on it, sir.
What is that?
That's horse, sir. I tell the men you have to test drive the vehicle.
What's it doing there?
It keeps the flies off the food, sir. There's no way you can tell what's wrong with an engine when it's just sitting up on the block.
Food?
It's an experimental program. I'd say the results are mixed.
It's a lot cheaper than sending out for it, sir.
And fresher, too. I'll talk about Phil's character.
Okay.
He is a Ramrod Strait
Major Thorne,
representative of the Inspector General Armor Group in Washington, coming in to basically close the base, and doesn't think what's going on there at Camp Baxter is very funny at all.
Are these yours? It is my understanding that you can no longer ask me these questions, sir.
You actually don't get to smile much in the movie.
No, nor in real life.
You go ahead.
It's hard for Phil actually to get out of the character of Major Thorne. For months afterwards, he was still
That's right.
Major Thorne. Take it home.
I'm a method actor.
Yeah.
So, and you can tell us about Bilko.
Well, Sergeant Bilko is the lovable con man who's living large at the expense of the United States Army, and he's working every possible angle. And I think it's just the perfect casting to have Steve Martin play this character, because Steve is charming, of course, but he's also very facile and manipulative, and the grace that he has in the way he does his physical comedy so effortlessly. It's similar to the kind of facile nature with which Bilko perpetrates his schemes upon everyone.
Don't ask. Don't even ask. Okay, ask. Funny face, you won't believe what happened. There was this busload of sweet little old geriatrics. They went rolling down a mountainside and...
Do you think I'm an idiot?
You need a king of timing to do that part, and
I like to say that Phil is facile, too.
The director of this is a very well-known comedy director.
Okay, Jonathan Lynn.
He's done some stuff in England.
Yeah.
Jonathan Lynn.
And you directed My Cousin Vinny.
That's right.
Right, My Cousin Vinny.
And I met him and worked
Not
with
the
him
movie.
on Greedy.
He directed My Cousin Vinny.
Your Cousin
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Steve's Cousin Vinny got some career direction from Jonathan. But Jonathan was a contemporary of the Monty Pythons. John Cleese and Eric Idle are very close friends of Johnny's, and they were at Cambridge University together, and he might have been a Python.
a lot of help that was to us that he was at Cambridge. That really helped us, didn't it?
He wanted us to all have English accents, and then Steve pointed out, well, it's the American Army. Thanks, Steve.
It's hard to say, hey, yup.
10 hot.
When we come back, we've got more with Steve Martin and Phil Hartman. One of the Blues Brothers admits to being a member of the world's oldest profession.
And now your 30-day forecast exclusively from VH1. You guessed it, April brings music showers. A high sweeps the nation with Who TV bringing a downpour of hits from Hootie. Don't stand in the rain for concert tickets. Call VH1 Tickets First for Sting and Gloria Estefan. Real Call's Party Machine storms into your living room with a thundering beat, and accumulations of great music continue with the classic 1971 concert for Bangladesh. Severe conditions give way to sunny skies when VH1 honors shines with the hottest superstars. April on VH1, your forecast for fun.
You're as beautiful as the day I met you.
Do you think so?
Would I lie to you?
On their 20th anniversary, Jack wanted to give Margaret something to express his true feelings.
I was sent here by your husband to kill you.
Does your mother know what you do for a living?
Stop with these questions. You sound like my shrink.
You're in therapy?
You should have been faithful.
My husband's the one that's been unfaithful. He's been cheating on me for 10 years.
10 years he's been doing it to you when you had a shot to do it and didn't. Bad move.
Well, obviously you've never been in love.
I've been in love.
What happened?
It didn't work out.
Why?
I had to kill her father.
Just admit that you've been cheating on me and that you're in love with Debbie.
I love you.
My husband didn't hire you, I did.
Stop it. You're trying to trick me.
Did you ever meet my husband?
I've never seen this man before in my life.
Then how do you know he hired you?
The man gave me half the money up front.
He's a fake!
Faithful, a comedy about a husband, a wife, and their hitman.
The way I feel right now, I want to kill both of you for nothing.
Rated R starts Wednesday, April 3rd.
Sassoon hair. Hair that looks like it's never seen a dryer, never been teased or mistreated, that's led a protected life. Hair created at the Vidal Sassoon Academy, the world-famous center for hair care. Created at home with Sassoon shampoos and conditioners, with a protein and moisturizer complex protecting hair to its cuticle edge. So there's no brush it can't handle, no dryer it can't shrug off. Hair protected by the Sassoon Protection System. Professional care for your hair.
It doesn't matter what comes, fresh goes better in life. With Mentos fresh and full of life, nothing gets to you. Staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos fresh and full of life, fresh goes better with Mentos fresh. Fresh goes better with Mentos fresh and full of life.
Mentos, the fresh maker.
Celebrate spring with Sunflowers fragrance from Elizabeth Arden. Take home the Sunflowers garden tote with travel size eau de toilette, body lotion, and shower gel. Your gift with any $26 Sunflowers purchase.
Could a Kia hack it in the real world? To find out, he gave it to Suhan's Top Car. Then told him, follow that Toyota. We figured if our Sophia could handle the streets of New York day after day, and started about 3,000 less than a Corolla, then Kia built a pretty tough car. Yep, our Kia handled this little test. As for Suhan's, well, we gave him a pretty nice tip. Enough to buy a Kia.
Thank you.
Kia, because it's about time everyone had a well-made car.
One is music first.
Tonight, VH1 is winning first. Melissa Etheridge teams up with Joan Osborne and friends.
Tonight at 9 on VH1.
Dan Aykroyd is part owner of the House of Blues, and occasionally he performs there as well. This nightclub and restaurant is dedicated to the Blues Brothers' philosophy of music and good times.
Dan, you perform here at the House of Blues?
Well, occasionally, you know, I kind of like a common music prostitute. You know, it's like, would you like to play a number? Yeah. Okay. You know, but sometimes if a special artist is in town that I like, and if I'm invited up, I do. But mostly, I've just been coming and enjoying some great shows here.
And you play the banjo.
I do play the banjo, somewhat.
Not enough anymore.
Occasionally.
You should play here at the House of Blues.
Anytime.
You know, I got to be booked. I've got to have a call from Dan. He's got to say, we want to book you. And, you know,
yeah.
I've got to think up more songs than two.
Well, Steve writes plays, as you know.
I do, right. Picasso at the La Panagile, and it's a play that ran here in Los Angeles for 10 months. It's about Picasso and Einstein when they were young men. And it's a comedy, and
it's really, really
Why
clever.
did you not want to be in it?
Oh, you know, it's a big commitment, but also I wanted it to work as a written thing rather than a kind of celebrity-driven thing, and I wanted it to last longer than just me being in it, and it was a way to work on it. I didn't want to be in
Plus,
it.
when you do a play, you know, you want to be in the back of the theater to see it, you know.
Right,
You can't,
that's the
if you're
main
on
thing.
stage, you can't see
yeah.
see the tableau. You know, Steve's an intellectual and, you know, certainly
Not
more
an intellectual.
Aren't you?
Well, compared to you.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But, so, of course.
And I'm a hobbyist and have expensive hobbies, and I need
What
to
are some of your
feel-
hobbies?
Well, diamond cutting.
Yeah.
And,
That's
you
an
know,
expensive hobby.
the mistakes are costly. I've turned some sizable gems to powder. But I'm learning, and I'm progressing. That's the important thing.
He's not turning diamonds into dust. Phil Hartman stars in the hit TV show News Radio.
How can I relax? You're gonna suck the air out of the room before I even get a chance to speak.
Well, thank you for boosting my confidence.
Screw your confidence. You're going down in flames tonight, and I'm gonna end up with a face full of smoke and soot.
Let's settle down.
No, you settle down. You settle down.
Stop screaming at me.
No, you stop screaming at me.
We're not here to promote News Radio, Phil.
I've come to believe that I will never do anything as exciting as Saturday Night Live in my career.
Really?
Knowing that
Why
when
is
because when the red light pops on, 15 million people are watching right now, you know, and you have one take. It's really, Saturday Night Live is televised theater because it is live. There's one shot, and it's much more spontaneous than any other kind of television, even sitcoms.
Yeah, it was an adrenaline pump the whole time. I mean, I always called it commando TV, you know, because you get out there and, you know, you can fly or die every time. And
What was the worst moment?
the worst moment for me on Saturday Night Live, well, when John was sick, you know, he hurt his leg and got into painkillers and was completely out of control. I remember when Catherine the Great sketch we did, and, you know, I looked over. The cameras were rolling, you know, the sketch was live, and John was asleep. You know, it's like, you know, here I'm playing some court fop or something, and there he's like, and there he's asleep, and it's live, and it's like, you know, and so that was kind of scary.
First time I was ever on, I was really nervous.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to go out and do a monologue, and they're counting down. I thought, live. I mean, this is so scary.
But you'd had a lot of stage experience.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's not a big difference between 100 people and 515 million. It's all you know, and it's a vulnerable situation.
But I go back there, like I have gone back to do the show, not hosting, but like last year I went to do Goodman and the Blues Brothers and all that. I'm nervous every time.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Well, they're going like this. So I guess that's it. Thank you very much.
That means they're having fun.
Yeah, they're
Yeah, right.
All right. What was your very first job in the business?
Well, that would be probably a magic show for the local Kiwanis Club in Garden Grove. And now as I look back on it, I think, why would grown men want to see a 15-year-old do a magic show?
My first paying gig was with Lorne Michaels on a special called The Great Canadian Humor Test when I was 19. Went to Toronto and, you know, and played 60-year-olds. You know?
Can you imagine you at 19?
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
You're the right age for you. Right?
Boy,
I did a demo film for an operation called Magicam, which was a special effects technique owned by Paramount, and I had designed the stationery for Magicam as a graphic designer, and they invited me to do their demo film.
Really?
That was my first paying job.
Yeah. You do envelopes direct.
And I thought I would be, well, I'll be starring in movies now.
They saw the letterhead and they went, you know, this guy could direct.
Yeah.
This guy has talent.